is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone. And I'm here today with my friend Lou Martin. Hi, Lou.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you.
Hi. We got a little bit of an echo, but I don't know what else to do here. Do you have a headset by any chance? Do you have like...
I don't, honey. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll do the best we can then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want everyone to meet Lou and follow what he's doing and possibly get readings and everything from him. He's a channel. He's intuitive. He's a singer. He's a musician. And in a lot of ways, he's a mystical philosopher of life. And that's what, when you hear him and when you hear him and you get to experience his energy, there's this lovely flow to how this whole reality works, right? Right.
Lovely. You're doing great.
So Lou, you had a Kundalini awakening.
Just enjoying this.
I'm sorry, the audio's really hard. Okay, so you had a Kundalini awakening during a meditation in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit about it, and I'll be quiet.
Okay, love. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and a joy to connect with your wonderful audience is like this. And had a gun and just wanted to take it out on somebody. And he had never met my dad before, but he met him and shot him, and my dad died there. So that was the beginning of my Hamlet years. What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Is there life after death? Is there a God? And I went in and out of 4 different schools, including theaters, and just searching for answers, reading a lot of books before I turned 30. That was 1987. I was born in 57. The Harmonic Convergence came around, and this was a very spiritual bookstore. It's called the Phoenix Bookstore in Santa Monica. It's not there any longer. But we had a great group, and a lot of great authors and teachers came through the shop. At one point, I was the manager of the events manager and all of that. So I got to meet a lot of these people and read the books. And then the Harmonic Convergence came around, and I felt really drawn. This is an event that Jose Arguelles had interpreted from the Mayan calendar, the Mayan Zolkin calendar. And so it was August 17th, 18th, 16, 17, 18 of 87. And I don't recall at this point, it's been a while, but either before or afterwards, I had this, I met a friend. He gave me a piece of crystal. His name is David, and lovely guy, David Miller. And he said, there's a thing called Kundalini energy or prana at the base of your spine. And you're meditating, Lou. If you meditate with the crystal, you might open your Kundalini energy. And so the first time I did that, tried that, that's exactly what happened. So talk about a cosmic setup. And so I had this heat at the base of my spine, and I was guided to just open my heart and send love and feel good and surrender to oneness. And this explosion of light, like a thunderbolt, went up my spine out the top of my head. And I was in a kind of an altered state for the next 7 days. Wow. And then I came back. And so that was the before and after moment for me. And then somewhere during the actual 3 days of the Harmonic Convergence, where I went to ceremonies and things like this, I felt really drawn to be a part of it. I went to an event with my teacher, Jack Purcell, who is the channel for the entity named Lazarus. And I was really inspired by that experience. And I wound up going to workshops because of the bookstore, going to many, many workshops with my dear friend Dorrit Thompson at the time. We're still buddies. And for the next 36 years, I've been studying Lazarus's material along with many, many other spiritual teachers. So in 1992, 5 years after the beginning of the convergence, there was a shift of energy, and Lazarus had spoken about this. And I opened to channel studying with Susan Drew and others in Los Angeles. And so I've been channeling my guides, my spirit guides, since 1992, and I've done workshops around the world with these energies.
Wow! So I didn't realize that you had been in a bookstore, because I'm a bookaholic.
Right.
And
Right.
and I also started looking for the meaning of life when I was in my 20s. My father was the youngest of 8 children, and all of them were dying. And that side, it was like Uncle so and so gone, Uncle there. I mean, it was like, wow, what's happening? And I couldn't make sense of it. So I actually think I went more of a Buddhist route, trying to understand metaphysics. And it wasn't until later that the Hindu version actually came through. But the Buddhist is still, it's still a core thing for me, I think, of trying to understand it all. So,
Sure.
Lazarus, that's amazing. Did you do Seth too? Did you work with Seth too?
I never really studied Seth much. I read the posts. I have great respect for that material, but it wasn't really an essential part of my awakening. The spirit guide that also has to be mentioned, second place in those years, is a chap named Dr. Peebles, who, okay, so
Cool.
Dr. Peebles is a joy. He was a medical doctor and a naturopath. He was American. He might have been born in Scotland, if I have the story right, but he lived to be just a shade short of 100 years old. He passed over at the turn of the 1900s to the 20th century, and he asked God if God would allow him to be a teacher to humanity, and to be in service to humanity. He was one of the founders of the Spiritualist Church in America. Yeah. And so I've talked to 5 different channels, I think, who have all channeled Dr. Peebles. Natalie Gianelli is in Los Angeles. Summer Bacon is in Sedona, Arizona. And Thomas Jacobson was my original Dr. Peebles channel. And so Dr. Peebles, I can't talk about him without oozing joy and gratitude, because he was just a bubbly, bright light of love and inspiration. So he was another, but, being in Los Angeles in my late 20s, early 30s, and being interested in these teachings was a feast. And then that led in 1992 to the Agape Church and Reverend Michael Beckwith. My girlfriend at the time, Alicia Killebrew, introduced me to all of that. And so I went through their practitioner program there and studied with Reverend Michael for 3 years. So that was a joy.
Wonderful. Yes. And his enthusiasm, Michael Beckwith teaches about descension rather than ascension, where you're descending into this physical body and bringing as much of that into here. And that I love that. I love that. And he's just got joy all packed up, right?
Oh yeah. He's a nature. Yeah.
So how are you seeing the changes? I know you're in Ireland, and were you told by Spirit to go to Europe? Was that how did you
Uh,
end up? 'Cause here you're talking about LA and being
yeah.
in the soup of all of it. How did you end up
Yes.
getting to Europe?
So I fell in love with the young lady, and as is often the case, and Joshua David Stone, who's a wonderful channel who passed over. He had several WESAC festivals up in Mount Shasta, where
Uh-huh.
he brought in channels from around the world, and he invited me to come to that and be a part of the leadership program there. And I met my love interest and partner there for a while, Rhiannon Augenthaler, another wonderful channel. And when Joshua passed away, shortly after the last WESAC, and his partner Gloria, who was Rhiannon's best friend, could not stay in the States because she didn't have legal status. She and Joshua were about to get married, but it didn't happen before his passing. And so Gloria had to go back home to Vienna, Austria. And eventually Rhiannon followed her out there. Rhiannon had been based in New Zealand, but she also had to leave there. And so I followed Rhiannon to Vienna and lived in Vienna with her for a year. And then she had an 8-year-old little boy named Manu, and lovely boy, but he tried my patience severely, and that was a big challenge, bless him. That for me, yeah. And so we moved to some place that didn't need a second language requirements, we thought. And I have my Irish background. My ancestors on both sides left Ireland during the famine, which Ireland lost 3 million people during the famine, some to starvation, many to starvation, and many to leaving the country. So my people left the country and came to the States through Canada, from what I can understand. Anyway, I've always felt this connection, this deep cultural affinity to the Irish writers and music and poets and all of that. So when I came here, I really fell in love with the place. Rhiannon did not, so she moved on to the UK, where she's based now, and I've stayed. So it's been 16 years.
Wow. So do you feel that you have a set of guides that work with you when you do channeling, or when you that obviously are helping keeping you healthy, happy, and wise? Yeah, and I know you're on totally on the mend of a health journey.
Oh yeah, a full-blown healing crisis. You don't
Yeah.
have to sugarcoat it. 50 days in care, 50 days in bed gets my
Wow.
attention. Yeah.
Wow. But
Yeah.
16 years in Ireland, I mean, it's one thing for people that go visit. I went to school in Italy, so I know I have this longing to go back to Italy. I went to school there 5 different times, and I haven't been there in years. And so I know what that feeling is like, but I haven't gotten it together to go back. So somebody said, go to your heritage. Your heritage is calling. So do you feel that you have specific guides that I mean, do you name them or recognize their energy?
I don't, because it's some people need that and want that, and I respect that, and that's absolutely fine. For me, it's just like a light switch. It's been the same energy, for 30 some years or whatever it is. So I just relax into it and trust it, and it tends to be pretty on the mark and helpful and inspiring. And I always bring through things that I'm not consciously aware of or thinking about. And it's me. So I'm a conscious channel rather than a trance channel, like Jack and Esther Hicks, and a lot of channels out there are trance channels. So I'm still present, while I'm channeling. So it's a kind of a blending of my energies and my guides. But I just call them my higher self, soul, and spirit, because I know there's, expansion of my consciousness. I was looking for the right word there. Yeah, expansion of my consciousness when I do it.
So do you have a way to turn it on and off? The reason I'm asking is that's what I have, my little ceremony that I use to make sure I'm not making it all up.
Sure. Yeah, bless you. Well, you're so humble, Kathy. God love you, darling. You're fine. Most of the channeling, the journey to channel is about trusting ourselves, and relaxing and surrendering, and just letting ourselves get out of the way. And we tend to be, it's great, the integrity that is asking, I want to make sure I'm really channeling. Well, we're, as many other channels have said, I'm not the first and I won't be the last, we're channeling all the time. It's just what aspect of self are we channeling, and how deeply are we going to attune to what's available. And, what has been available in the past is beautiful. Like, we're talking about all these great teachers. I also want to mention Sanaya Roman and Oren and Daben, particularly Oren. Those channelings, I've done a lot of work over the last year and a half with Addie Lamborn, and I'm a big fan of Patricia Cota-Robles and her material, and of course our buddy David Maria. What a great gift to my life he is, and how you and I connected, and there are others, Peter Hansen, and so many wonderful teachers out there. But it really does come to cross that bridge, a radical sense of trusting ourselves and letting spirit have its way with us.
Right, exactly. It is a different reframing of this reality. And then having the joyful reframe rather than the fearful reframe of all of it, that everything is imperfection, and whoever set up this game was brilliant, and and how could I even do it better? I don't know. I'd like to get out of the game and then get back in, is what.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think channeling is good for that, actually. Channeling, either listening or practicing, I play and sing and write music, and as I said, I've studied acting and done a lot of theater and enjoyed that immensely. You lose yourself in a good book, wherever you're not self-obsessed any longer. You're relaxed, you're appreciating, love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude. I think those, for my guides, those are the four most powerful and empowering energies. We come from love. This is, I think, the Course in Miracles and Marianne Williamson. We come from love, and we learn fear, in the world, and then the healing, like with Buddhism, or all the wisdom teachings, is to unlearn, the things that we've learned that are not really true, not eternal, not really a part of our spiritual nature. And the unlearning of that, to me, really comes through self-acceptance and a whole bunch of forgiveness.
Yes. That I agree. Okay, so I have a question for you that might
doing I always come up against that.
Lou?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you why do
Fish.
you why do you think it's set up that we have a hard time reading for ourselves, but we can read for others? Are you there? Lou? Well, we may have to redo this interview if the internet in Ireland is not going to participate at a high level. There you are. Okay, do you
Hi.
want me to ask it again?
Yes, you didn't ask your question yet. Yeah.
Yes, I did, but I'll do it again. Okay, so why do you think that it's set up that it's easier for us to channel and see information for others? It's easier for us to help others than ourselves. Okay, Lou, are you there? Are you there? Okay. Something's happening. Oh, no. Well, everybody, I think we're going to have to reschedule this one because Lou is a brilliant communicator and a huge asset for lots of knowledge. He's, because of all his studies and his perspective on life, he could be a great resource for you during these changing times. And it's just technology. That's what everything's a workaround anymore. So what we'll do is maybe he's coming back, but either way, we may redo this where we're using a more stable thing. Let's see. How are you doing? Oh,
All
Lou, I
right.
think,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can, but I think we might want to redo this and put it up because we could use Zoom and then I can put it live so that
Okay.
by the time this goes to television, it's gonna not gonna do what I want it to for you. So
Yeah. Not up to snuff. Sorry about that.
well, it's okay. We'll just
I'm
figure
so
out.
sorry. Yeah.
There's always a workaround.
I have to upgrade my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, probably do for your for your
Sure.
YouTube channel too. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk. Let's schedule another, and
Okay.
we can pre-record on Zoom, so that Zoom seems to be more stable for you, and then
Sure.
I can use.
Sure.
Because
I do have to upgrade my Wi-Fi. Literally, I'm just running off my iPhone 7 personal hotspot, and I've got one bar. You know,
oh
and we're
no.
going, oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
yeah, that would be good for probably for your YouTube channel too, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, well,
you know,
well, let's end this and then we'll start again. And thank you
okay.
everyone that's been here. Um, uh, this is worth doing again so that you can be inspired and see Lou as a resource for you. So we'll redo this, and then you'll be able to really hear the flow, hear his voice, feel his energy in a much better way. So thank you everybody.
Okay.
We'll see you again soon. See you on Thursday.